This journey, it needs to be something that you decide for yourself. If you don't feel it, if you cannot connect to it, you cannot push it forward.
When I got initiated to Orun, I didn't know what Egbe was. My Orun initiation was stopped, halted, right? Because it was like, oh, she also needs to be initiated to Egbe now.
Yes. Egbe
right?
is the only entity that you can connect to without an intermediary.
People were understanding ancestors, right? They understood that, but then when it came to Egbe, we didn't have the language. We didn't have the understanding,
like,
right?
For someone to feel disconnect from certain things, they already have to have an established connection.
We don't necessarily know our birthright. We don't necessarily know who we are, right? And so for many of us, we are making the effort to reconnect, right, in whatever way we can. And so
when you're overworked, when you're overtired, you're sick, just like we were talking about, you're not aligned.
Yes.
Your brain, your mental health, it's not good. It will definitely affect the way you connect with your Egbe Orun.
And I've been around people who are terrified of possession, right? And they get very scared, and it clenches them up. And
you are able to cut across intergalactical,
yes,
whatever dimension you go through. You can travel to countries that you've never been into. You can let go and let Egbe use it. It's not something that you can force. I know a lot of people that want to, which leads people to always faking possession, always faking messages. Because when you have that heart of body experience, you're literally living the realm of the human.
Welcome to another episode of Voices of IWA. I am your host, Iya Omisegun, and Voices of IWA is a podcast that amplifies the voices of women throughout the diaspora who have chosen to practice our African traditions. This is season 2, and we're nearing the end of season 2. This is actually our second to last episode for season 2. And in season 2, we have been talking about embodying the Orisha. How do we live the lifestyle of Isheshe? How do we live the values each day? We've had some amazing guests that have talked about the different aspects of our Isheshe tradition. They've also talked about the Orisha and how we live those values each day, how we embody the values of the Orisha each day. Today in this episode is a very special episode. I probably say that every week, that it's a very special episode, but it's always very special to me when we have the opportunity to talk to women who are not only living this tradition, but are thriving in the tradition and who are choosing to speak up more, whether it be through lectures or through books. And today's guest is an author. She is a mother. And I'm so happy that she decided to be with us today. Iya Yemisi Elebuibon, who is the author of several Egbe books. So we want to welcome you to the show, as well as the little lady in the back. Congratulations as a new mom. You're the second person. Actually, last week's episode, we had a new mom as well, a relatively new mom. So, I was saying it's impossible to have a show for women, right, if we don't take into consideration that we live a particular life. And so I'm very glad that you decided to be with us. Welcome.
Greetings, everyone.
Yes.
I am happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you. Yeah. So we always start off, your name carries weight, right? You are the third Elebuibon to be on the show. So if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit about yourself as well as how you got started in the traditions, I think that would be important for people to know in case they don't know you.
Greetings, everyone, wherever you are. I am Iya Yemisi Elebuibon. Like she said, I am a mother first. That's what I said now. I'm a mother first. I'm an author and I'm an entrepreneur. And I'm also a new movie producer as well. And I have produced documentaries, films in honor to highlight and spotlight Isheshe and Yoruba culture to the world. And I come from a strong, long lineage of Isheshe family. My ancestral paternal family come from Oshogbo, which is the state capital for Osun State, the city for Osun Oshogbo, the world-renowned Osun Oshogbo festival.
Yes.
And my baba, my dad, my father, Iyalaje Yemisi Elebuibon, we actually share the same name. I'm Iya Omisegun. It's Ifayemi. So he is currently sitting on the throne as the Arabahawo of Oshogbo land. And my Yeye, my Iya, is right next to him as the Akpetebi of the Ogbeyonu, Iyalorisha for the Egbe Emiri Onitesiwaju in Oshogbo, Osun State, Nigeria. And my journey so far, it's I am privileged. I call myself privileged, like the Nepo baby. I am one of the Nepo baby of Isheshe because of my strong family, the strong ties that we have to the city of Oshogbo. My ancestors on my father's side are the founder of the city of Oshogbo. Our household is the Olutumei. And we currently sit on the Oluode, the head of all of the hunters, and the Ogun worshipper in Oshogbo. So any person who wants to ascend to that throne must come from my lineage. So we hold that place, and we also have a market that's named after our compound. So because of all of that, my journey into Isheshe was long established before I was even here. By my Baba and my Iya, unbroken lineage.
Yes.
He's practicing what his father passed down to him, and his father also practiced what his own father passed down to him. So we are generational. We have unbroken generation. And it's rare for you to find families like that. And it's still currently existing in the face of the new age religion and the new way of thinking, a new life. So ours is rare and unique in that way because we are like generation and generation into Isheshe. So that's why I said my journey into Isheshe was long established before I was even here. It's inborn. It's something that that was born into, and I grow into, and I loved because I see the good in it. And I tell people all the time, this journey, it needs to be something that you decide for yourself. It's not something that anyone can just hand over to you. If you don't feel it, if you cannot connect to it, you cannot push it forward. So you can say, okay, I come from this lineage, I come from that lineage. If it is not in you, it's not in you. Because it's something that nobody else can journey through for you. You have to have that decision in your heart. And your ancestor have to choose you. It needs to speak through you. Just like you see many people here in the US, they just rise up from age-long dead relationship to the Orisha. Why them? So their ancestor chose them. They have the awakening. So it's not to say that, okay, I'm privileged, I'm a Nepo baby. It is destiny for me. It's what is the path that's been there that Ori has, especially chose for me. That this is the path that I want you to toe.
So, thank you for sharing that, right? Your mom has sat down in this chair. Your sister, Aiye, has sat down in this chair. And so to have an opportunity to interview all three of you, I feel, I do feel privileged. And because I've said this on the show before, your lineage, your family in specific, has done so much to help promote the traditions in Isheshe, throughout the diaspora. The amount of people that have come through Ogbeyonu's temple, right? And then your family also travels. Some of you all live here in the United States and have made more information available, right? Through books, through writings, through lectures, right? That has really been impactful for those of us from the Caribbean, those from us from the diaspora, throughout the diaspora. So we're grateful, we're thankful, right? Because without the decision to share the information, right? That's how many of us are able to open up our world and to learn more. So today's topic, right? It's special to me because when I got initiated to Oshun, I didn't know what Egbe was, and my Oshun initiation was stopped halted, right? Because it was like, oh, she also needs to be initiated to Egbe now, right? And it was scary. I was like, I don't know what's happening, right? And in the years that I've been studying, I've really learned more and more about how important Egbe is. And you've been a huge advocate for Egbe. You have written 2 amazing books.
Yes.
One, Egbe Orun, Comrades of Heaven, right?
Yes.
And then this other one is actually one of my favorite books because you talk about Egbe Orun, the path to self-discovery. And I've been a huge advocate for self-awareness, right? To use our traditions, our African traditions, so that those of us in the diaspora can reconnect to who we truly are.
Yeah, that's true.
And you have been a huge proponent of Egbe. So if you wouldn't mind to take this opportunity to really describe what is Egbe and why is it important for us to connect with our Egbe?
Thank you. Egbe, to me, is phenomenal. And one thing about Egbe that I like to always put forward that is so unique, before we even get into what is Egbe, that is so unique is Egbe is the only entity that you can connect to without an intermediary, without initiation, without the prior knowledge of even what Egbe is, because it's something that people have been engaging in for age long, but they don't have the name, the title for it. Also, Egbe it's it's multi-dimension. It can manifest in both male and female. Unlike other Orisha that you will see that you say, oh, Shango is male energy, Oshun is feminine energy. Egbe it's non-discriminator when it comes to gender. It's genderly fluid, right? if we will say. Right. So that's one of the things that is amazing about Egbe. Egbe Orun in Lematan, Egbe means group, society, or a class of people. But when we transport that into the into spirituality, Egbe Orun, they are like our classmates. I'm having to teach my daughter now, so I've borrowed a lot of times to really actually make her understand. It's just like when you belong into a group. You belong to an associate, just like we see here on Earth, that everyone belongs into this group and that group. Just like a child can never be born without a family. A soul cannot journey into this earthly realm without a spiritual companion. So they are our invisible friend. They are our companion. They are our friends. They are our ancestors that have decided to journey towards to this life, to be our guardians, to go through the ups and downs of life with us, and even sometimes to intervene when lives become challenging for us. So when we say, oh, I have Egbe Orun, a lot of people want to think maybe it's just for the Yoruba people or for the adherents of Isheshe practitioner. It's for everyone, every humankind. All belong to a particular Egbe Orun before we journey to the world, to come to this world, and then we go through the amnesia of birth. And then all of a sudden, we don't know who we are anymore. We don't know who our friends or enemies are. And most in particular, we don't know the destiny that we chose coming from Orun to ourselves anymore. So Egbe is the vehicle that sends us back to our alignment. So it is the lens that it's the mirror, like a lens that we can look in through, and the reflection is yourself. So I like to tell people, when you discover Egbe, you discover yourself. You honor Egbe, you honor yourself. Unlike, like I said, just why it's that's so phenomenal about Egbe Orun, it's not the Orisha that you are doing unto the Orisha. If you are feeding Ifa, you say, oh, I'm feeding Ifa because I want this blessing. But when you do to Egbe, you do for yourself. You do for your friends. You do for your companion who have been by your side before you even come to this world. So that's what makes Egbe so unique. And that's one of the reasons why I said it doesn't need no intermediary. It doesn't need no third party. We need them as guardian. But ultimately, it is in our DNA. If it is not in you, It is not in you. A lot of people have contacted me over several past years that, oh, how can you make me do this? How can I do that? You cannot give to someone. A man cannot give to someone what is for the spirits to give. Just like Ogun will not answer the message of Ifa. It is in you. We, as a priestess or priest of Egbe, we are only here to help you amplify it. We are here to help you to unlock the hidden, your inner self. But it needs to be already present in you. Now, the degree that you experience it depends on you.
Yes.
So nobody can just make you an Elegbe. Initiation does not make you an Elegbe. You're already an Elegbe. Initiation connects you to your birthright.
Okay.
Something that is already belongs to you, but you have no way to get through to it. Initiation does that for you.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, because you just said a word that, when people start to come to do Egbe work, I've found like maybe in the last, I've been initiated 15 years now. So maybe it feels like maybe 20 years ago or so is when even the conversation of Egbe really reached the diaspora, right? I think prior to that, we were saying, people were understanding ancestors, right? They understood that. But then when it came to Egbe, we didn't have the language. We didn't have the understanding, right, of what the difference was between Egungun and Egbe, right? Yes. Or even the places where there are some similarities, right? Like, yes. And I think that can be confusing to people sometimes. But you mentioned the word Elegbe. And so just give people when you say Elegbe, like what do you mean?
Elegbe is us who belong to Egbe Orun. And we have a saying back home, Aiye, if you don't have a spiritual fellowship or a relationship here on earth, you don't have one in heaven. But hardly could you find a person who does not belong to any group or association here on earth. You belong to a certain race, you belong to a certain ethnicity, you belong to a nationality, you come from a certain family. So how can you say, oh, I don't have Egbe? Of course you do.
Yes.
You have your family, you have your friends from school, you have your own co-worker. So that's why we are all Elegbe. Whether or not we are initiated or not, we are all Egbe. Just like we should not try to confuse ourselves what initiation does. Because initiation is not what gives you the power to become an Elegbe. I have to reinforce that. Yes. It has to be already in you. It is your God-given gift and talent. It is innate. Sometimes it's passed down, the stronger connectedness. Just like you said, the degree of your participation or how you experience it can be passed down through DNA, can vary from individual to individual, depending on your ancestral lineage, your composition as a human being, and your life experiences, the things you did, and how open and receptive you are to spiritual entity. So that's what differentiates one person from the other. We all experience it on various levels. It's never gonna be the same. So that's why I said not a particular person can actually give you to you. We carry the ashe of Egbe on our head when we go through initiation. It's like a identification when people have a social security number. So that when you walk into a government office, you can people give them your number and they know who you are. That's the same thing with us, with Egbe and initiation. If you say, okay, I'm human being, I'm a citizen of the United States, but you don't have a social security number, how do you walk into the government building and say, I'm an American citizen?
That's a good analogy. Yeah, I get that.
Give us your birth certificate so that we know where your ties come from. Where is your roots? Now give us your social security number that connects you to everything that you do in this country. It's the same. It's similar to what we experience with our Egbe when we carry the ashe on our head. It's an identification. So when you walk into the spiritual realm, you must be able to identify yourself, and that's why we say when you know Egbe, you know yourself. Once you have that awareness of who you are, you'll be able to say, okay, I am Iya Yemisi Elebuibon, the daughter of Iya Yemisi Elebuibon. I come from Osogbo, Osun State, Nigeria. I'll be able to say da. But if I have no self-awareness, I cannot tie myself to any group of people. I'm from the Yoruba race. I'm a Yoruba woman.
Yes.
It's my identity. But imagine if I don't have the awareness of who I am. I'll be mislabeling myself. I'll be identifying myself as something that is actually not what it is. And I'll be missing out. My inheritance that is ties to that name, I'm not going to get it. So that's the same thing with people connecting to the Egbe. You're not going to get that gift. You're not going to get that talent, that protection, and everything that your Egbe could offer to you if you cannot identify yourself and know who you are.
So this is the thing I think that is so important for us in the diaspora, what you just said, right? You said very proudly, very boldly, I am a Yoruba woman, right? This is my birthright. This is who I am. So for those of us who are in the diaspora, who have been scattered, right, because of the Ma'afa, because of enslavement, because of all of that entire slave trade, we've been scattered all throughout, right? We don't necessarily know our birthright. We don't necessarily know who we are, right? And so for many of us, we are making the effort to reconnect, right, in whatever way we can. And so this is why I think a part of I know, right? I know through knowing that my Egbe is Iyalaje, right? I know that I am supposed to work with women, right? That's a part of what I'm supposed to do. And it's so interesting, like to work with women in an effort to reconnect with who they are, with what their spirit has to offer, right? Not to themselves and to the world.
Yeah.
So Egbey has been a huge, huge part of my work, a huge, huge part of my own journey, right? Like I said, from the moment I decided to get initiated to Osun, I was so confused because it was like, I thought, Obatala, right? That was my focus. And then I sat down to get initiated with Baba Bonbon, and he was like, I didn't know you would be initiated to Osun. And I was like, what? I was confused. So I think sometimes we approach... This is why we say, sometimes we approach the Orisha in this very linear way. And we're thinking like, oh, it's just this and it's only this. Mm-hmm. When it's very expansive and it's an opportunity for us to learn all of the various facets of ourselves. And that Egbe work, you talked about the mirror, right? Like meeting yourself and looking at yourself in the mirror to learn more about who you are. Yes. I think that's really important. So what are some signs for those of us that are making the effort, like say now, you're making the effort to connect with your Egbe, you're making the effort to connect with who you are, you're reaching back, right? You have started studying Esheshe, or even for people now, like they may be new to the tradition and they're learning more about who they are. What are some signs that you're disconnect, that you're out of alignment with your Egbe, with your destiny?
Okay. Mm-hmm. When it comes to Egbe and connecting with Egbe or to Egbe and disconnecting, it happens a lot of time. We, on her, as let's just not take it too far into the spirit world. Okay. Let's bring it back to this present world.
Okay.
If you have a friendship, and you don't nurture that friendship, you cannot have a friend without the awareness that you have a friend. Friendship develop when two people bond on something, right? So there's no bond. So you have to have something that you bond with your Egbe with in order for you to continue to enjoy the benefit of that friendship. So if I'm your friend, and you don't call me, you don't check up on me, I'm hungry, you don't offer me food, that friendship is definitely going to sour.
Yes.
Which is why we have rituals. How we extend ourselves to our Egbe Orun is through ritual. That's what when we connect to our Egbe. Ritual in itself it doesn't have to be Ebo in itself. It's about the things that we do. Some practices that we engage in. Making ourselves available to people when they need it. Giving out donation to people who needed it. Praying for ourselves and other people. But to go back to the question, like if for someone to feel disconnect from certain things, they already have to have an established connection.
Yeah.
So here we...
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So if you don't already have that connection, there's no way for you to know that you've disconnected from something. Just like we have our phone.
Yeah.
And we connect it to the Wi-Fi. So now the phone is already pre-programmed with apps and things to make it work effectively, provided you power it on.
Yes.
So the first thing that people need to do is to power on. Connect first.
Yes.
In the absence of the awareness that we are connecting to Egbe, a lot of people will feel a shift in their vibration. You woke up in the morning, you say, I just don't feel for some reason,
Feel like
my
myself.
body don't wake up. I feel like my head and my body, just like my mind and my body, are not working in tandem. They don't feel connected. Just like I feel hunger, but I don't have a taste for food. You can see that those two, your body is telling you, I need food. But then here you have no taste for nothing. That's first thing that we notice when there is no alignment. You feel that shift of energy in your body first, like everything just feel off. You know, that's why I say you need to have a ritual. You need to have that connection, because when things were working prior for you, you know how your body feel. You know how you normally respond to stuff. But then the moment there is disconnection and you're not properly aligned, you immediately feel off.
Yes.
If you're someone that pay attention, for me, I tell people, the moment I start cooking, if my food is getting overly seasoned,
It's true.
I'm for real.
No, I know what you mean.
If all of a sudden, like I get into the kitchen, normal something that you whip good and stuff like that, all of a sudden it's coming out. It's burning up. My food is coming out overcooked. It's coming out over seasoned. All of it,
Yeah.
And then it's your body, your immune system is another thing. Beside you feeling that vibration and your energy going off, your immune system, because if you are not connected, you don't have that supportive system, you don't have that layer of barrier of protection that shields you from all of this external and internal warfare that's trying to come into you.
Yeah.
Then your immune system, if you're someone that is already in the sheshe, or you use all of this medicine and stuff, they will start fighting, because now you're exposed, you're vulnerable. That's why your immune system will start acting up. You might start developing cold. You might start feeling sick. You might start developing headache. But if you're someone that pay attention, just like, I naturally don't get sick. Because when you start feeling bodily pain and sickness, it's precursor to something going wrong.
Yes.
When you start having headache, it's not just your head hurting. It's like some part of your body is not functioning the way it's supposed. But the way your brain will get your attention is to give you headache, so that you can pay attention. It's the same thing with Egbe Orun. So when we start feeling out of order, your energy is getting shifted. Your head, you know that you don't normally break down, it's breaking down. If you don't normally get acne before you started having acne, then you start to pay attention. What am I eating? What is in my diet? So those are the things that Egbe does when we are disconnected. Your money is running low. If you're someone that is in business, all of a sudden you normally get good sales, you don't get good sale, or you're having dreams.
Yeah.
You're having a lot of nightmare. You're having a lot of dreams. Or your relationship on this world starts suffering. People that are naturally cheerful towards you, all of a sudden they're distancing themselves. What is it about your energy that is off-putting to them that they don't want to come closer to you anymore? And then if you are someone that works with children, you will notice the children, they can tell when someone's energy is pure.
Immediately.
If children are pulling off away from the person, either they really, something is wrong with them, or they are a danger to those kids. They've seen them in a way that they know that I'm not safe with this person. But either way, if you start saying that children are not being receptive to you, the children, they are all loving.
Yes.
They will smile and be joyous with anyone. But if they don't want to have anything to do with you, it is time to start paying attention. And then the most important thing that I know a lot of people feel is when they start having those nightmares.
Yeah, I wanted you to talk a little bit about Egbe and dreams, because so many people, I get a lot of calls from people like, I had this dream. What does this dream mean? Am I Egbe trying to talk to me? Like people are eager, but I know dreams are a way that Egbe does communicate with us, a lot of us.
Yes. When it comes to Egbe and dream, I say dream is the human inbox of Egbe. Egbe is as simple as that.
Okay.
So let's break it down. If you have a spam folder that filter, a lot of stuff, a lot of junk email for you. If you are a person that you don't have no spiritual harmony, you don't have no spiritual guidance, that means you don't have no spam folder. So everything just goes into your inbox. And you're going to clog. You'll not be able to see important messages.
You're good with these analogies. Yeah, I like them.
So you're gonna miss those important messages. But with us having Egbe Orun, we are able to have our filter.
Yes.
We're able to receive those messages. And another way to look at it is just there's no how Egbe will communicate to you in person if you are not someone that can dream. And how do you be able to dream if your life is not too cluttered? When you're overworked, when you are overtired, you're sick, just like we were talking about, you're not aligned.
Yes.
Your brain, your mental health, it's not good. It will definitely affect the way you connect with your Egbe Orun, because if you don't have that stillness and quietness of the mind, and that peace of mind that you need in your life to be able to operate to your full potential, you're gonna be missing the message. So if you don't pay attention to your dream, you're gonna miss the message. And if you don't have a spam folder, the filter, the spiritual guide that we're talking about, you're gonna be missing the important message. So when people dream, whether it's your ancestor or your Egbe or whatever spirit, your guardian angel, whatever you call it, that is trying to communicate with you, that's the first thing that is prominent that I know most Egbe that have opportunity to talk to, and they'll share their experience with me. I dream about this. And they are able to receive premonition. They are able to receive warning. They're able to see vision. Just like in our physical world, we have limitation. But when you go to bed at night and you transcend and you transform into a spiritual being, you are able to cut across intergalactical, whatever dimension you go through. You can travel to countries that you've never been into. You can be, you can talk to animals. You can do things that are not humanly possible in your waking life. So that's why dreaming is so essential, because like I said, that's the email, that's the inbox, that's where the Egbe deposits all of this inspiration. Like, okay, we are here in the studio. It takes some kind of artistic genius and creativity to be to be able to do some things. People will go to bed at night and they're just like, I was sleeping and it just popped off my mind.
Yes.
It's all those knowledge it got deposits into our mind, into our consciousness when we are sleeping. But if you are too busy in your waking life, you're not getting enough rest, you're not sleeping good, that also is cause for you're not aligned. And you're not going to be able to get all those messages that you need. Now, receiving that message is one thing. Being able to identify and break down the message and know what is my Egbe trying to tell me. And
decoding the message.
Yes. Okay, for instance, you have a dream that a friend that you trusted in your waking life all of a sudden grab a stone and is stoning you in your dream. Your human instinct is to say, oh, my friend is doing bad to me. But what your Egbe is telling you, that familiarity is going to bring you pain. Someone you trust is going to betray you. That friendship that you are seeing is a representation of trust, of love. Then what you need to do, make boundary, pay attention, be careful. Don't be too trusting to the point that trust bring you pain.
Yes.
It's not like you're going to be walking in the street and someone will grab a stone and just throw it at
Everything's
you.
not literal.
Everything is not literal.
Yeah.
So,
You said something that's really important, because a lot of times in dreams, when people call about having dreams, they'll see a person and, they'll automatically feel like, okay, like their husband might be flirting with somebody, right? And it's like, oh, he's cheating on me. You know what I mean? Like he's doing these things. I think what you said about learning, understanding that things represent things. Right? Like, so a person may be a representation of a particular energy, right? Like water in your dream, right? It might be a representation of certain things. So like, it's really good to get some, if you're not able to interpret your dreams, right, get with priests and people who can to help you, right?
That is important.
And even to write down your dreams, getting to the point, like that is something very practical that I started to do to help bond with my Egbe more, right? Like just writing it down. Like I used to write it physically, but now I just keep it in my phone. I just have a list when I wake up, if I can remember, like getting in the habit of remembering what I dreamed, right, helps to strengthen your ability to connect in dreams. So over time. But that I love the analogy of it being like a mailbox for them to get to you. That's good.
It's because the thing also like that I wanted to add with dreams is, if you're someone that usually remember your dreams and all of a sudden you had a dream and then you cannot remember. And throughout that day, it bugs you because you could tell you saw something, you had something, you cannot remember. That's another angle for you to know that the alignment is not strong enough. Or because a lot of time, something important that is about to happen to a person, especially if it is something bad, if it is not natural, that could be prevented. You might want to be, if you are someone that you see things and you are able to protect someone with the information that you see in your dream, they might all these negative forces might not want you to recover that message that it was just passed to you. So you have to always make sure that you are in good alignment with your Egbe, so that you'll be able to remove all those, the firewall, that is preventing you from getting that, because you could save a life. You could literally save your life with the information that your Egbe is going to give to you through dreams.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about dreams. Another aspect of Egbe that I think people will have questions about, that I don't know that we talk enough about, and maybe should, especially as women, is possession. Right? I have noticed and I've been around people that have been comfortable with possession, that can bring through messages, right, that can transform lives. And I've been around people who are terrified of possession, right, and they get very scared, and it clenches them up, and and it can't be useful to them. So how is Egbe and possession connected?
Egbe and possession is they're twin. Because you cannot, it's just like, okay, let me you said you love the way
I do. I like your analogies. I think they're great.
Like let's say we have a bird. It has two wings, right? A bird cannot fly without having both wings.
That's right.
If you have one wings, that bird is not going anywhere. So one wing is our connection to Egbe Orun. And on the other one, it's being able to go into trance. Which a lot of people now that call themselves seer, that call themselves priests, that call themselves, the healer, and are able to utilize to help their clients. A lot of people that are doing this, whether you're reading cards, whether you gazing, you do water gazing, whether you do coffee reading and stuff, an entity is responsible for giving you that message, for clearing that path for you to receive all those things. And that is Egbe Orun. So when you are able to physically transcend from human to a spiritual entity. Because when you have that heart of body experience, you're literally living the realm of the human to go into the in-between, between the heaven and the heart, or however how you want to word it. It takes a certain level of high connectivity and sensitivity to be able to achieve that. It's flawless for some people. Just like that, they are able to. Anything triggers it. So that's why when I was growing up, as early as a 13 years old girl, as earlier or even earlier than that, I have been able to go into trance and be able to deliver messages and stuff like that. Now, going to why people feel apprehensive, that they don't want to go into trance, or how to manage themselves when they go into trance. The thing is, I tell people all the time. Sometimes a lot of people are ageist. Let me just divert a little bit. They are ageist when it comes to Isheshe because they think you cannot have that level of understanding or knowledge until you grow gray hair. It's not with Egbe Orun. A 7 years old child can have a high frequency, a high vibrating connection to Egbe Orun than a 70-something years old woman or man. It's not about age. So we cannot say, okay, maybe it belongs to a certain age group. No. And the reason why I mentioned the age thing is because when we go in between, weave ourselves in between this dimension, what currency do we expend? What do you give to give all those messages? It's not free. You spend your human essence. So in essence, it ages people up. If you are someone that spend your energy doing spiritual work for people, you start noticing they start looking older than their age. And then you say, oh, Baba, Iya. And then you how old are you though? Oh, really? The knowledge in itself, it ages up, because a lot of people, like I said, they are ages. They thought, the older you are, the more knowledgeable you become. In a certain aspect of life, that works. But when it comes to Egbe, it does not work like that. It doesn't matter what the age group. So now when it comes to possession, if you are not somebody that is receptive, if I'm here and I'm trying to talk to you, and your phone is not power on, even if it is power on, your data is shut off, your Wi-Fi is shut off, I can't connect to you. But then I see little baby here, if she has this turn on and turn on, okay, yeah, this is someone that can connect to. I'm going to connect to that person, and I'm going to use that person as a way, as my channel, as my mouthpiece to deliver the message that I want for you. That is how Egbey work with possession. They have their own people that they know that, this person, when I come here, we are here. They are always ready for you. You don't have to wait outside. You don't have to be on your phone. It's the same way.
The door is open.
The door is always open. But that's why when we are doing our chanting, we always tell Egbey, Aiye wa ni bi o. The door is open here. There's space here. Use me. Utilize me. But a lot of people, they are so wound up. So first thing that people need to do, if it's something that something that you desire, you have to let go. Let go and let Egbe use. It's not something that you can force. I know a lot of people that want to, which leads people to always faking possession, always faking messages, stuff, because they see it as it's an highest honor. It's honor. It's an honor to be able to do that. And then the reason why, even for me as a person, I stopped allowing myself to. That's why you don't see me really at festival. You don't see me anywhere. There's drumming, there's dancing, there's singing. A lot of time I avoid this as possible, because I am not in control of what could happen to me when I'm unconscious. And then if you're in an environment where you cannot trust, where you don't have anybody who's looking for your interest, it could be detrimental. And then a lot of times, if you don't have people, knowledgeable people around who could nurture you, guide you your way through and back to your shell, it could also be detrimental. And then physically, you could physically hurt yourself. If you don't have people to grab you in time, you can hit yourself on the floor, and sustain injury and stuff. So the point is just like being receptive making sure that you're open and having trusted people and being in an environment why such thing is going to be nurtured and not envied. Because when you are unconscious, a lot of things can happen to you.
Yes. You agree. She's like, I'm trying to tell y'all. You know, something you're saying is something that I advocate for in our Ile and in a couple of spaces where I'm helping to lead, right? Where we have done enough spiritual work together, right? So we are Egbe in that regard, right? We are bonded through the work that we have done together, and the commitments that we've made to one another, to learning what happens to us when we get possessed, right?
Yes.
So that we can respond for each other. So even we've been in places where it's been like, it's okay, one of us will take care of her, right? So cause we know like, oh, don't do this or do this, or, you know, like, or being able to assist that person, like you said, to take care of them, to make sure that they're okay while that is happening, right? I think that's something on this side especially, and in our practice of having bimbes and rituals and drumming, and it's good for us to uplift the energy of the Orisha. And when we do that, we should be prepared, right? People should be prepared. And so you shouldn't go places like bimbes by yourself if you know, right, that this is something that you're experiencing, right? And if it is something you're experiencing, then you should talk to somebody that can assist you, right? That can help you. That can help to help you navigate what that looks like for you, for your spirit when you might go in trance.
Yes, you made a really valid point about the being prepared.
Yeah.
Because when you bring people, and that's one thing that I know is missing here. Because back home, we know some people that they are prone to going into possession. They go into trance just like that. And then during initiation, people who have gone through, let's say, Egbe initiation, or Shango initiation, or Hoya initiation in particular, they experiment what triggered them, what makes them go into trance. You've seen
yes.
So that you could be careful. So that if you are in a space where you're not going to be taken care of, and so such thing is going to happen, you excuse yourself. A lot of people just, a loud noise can, make them go into trance.
Yes.
So the thing is just to be prepared for you telling people that, okay, so I go into trance. When it happens, this is what you need to do to calm me down, to bring me back. And then also educating ourselves. Whenever we have spiritual gathering, to look out for people. And people don't look out for themselves enough. And that's why a lot of people feel like it's not safe for me to go into trance. It's okay if what you said is going to be believed. Now, when you go into trance and people, because they feel it's an highest honor of calling to be able to be a mouthpiece of the Orisha, and things that you said are believable and they come into pass, people will honor you. Automatically, it's human nature to treat such person with such a reference, to adore them as the mouthpiece of the Orisha, and it breeds content. So that's why a lot of people are in the haste to achieve and get to that. And then all of a sudden, people are weaponizing possession messages. And people that they have problem with in real life, they're saying, Oshun said this, Egbe said that, and stuff. Delivering your
comes
own
back to you.
It does.
Like,
but we have to talk about it.
We
does
do.
Happen.
You're right. Yes, you're right.
It does happen.
Yes.
So we need to talk about. So it's one thing to, if you are someone that you've achieved that and people believe you, one lie. Don't let me say lie. It might be inappropriate to say a lie. Once you let your human nature take over, rather than letting the spirits do their work, it could ruin your reputation. It could damage trust. It can also cause problem for people because the Orisha sees you as a virtue to use as a carrier for their own message. Now you're telling someone a message, and then they don't believe you. And it is genuine. And that's one of the things in my family, like my dad knows, my mom knows. If I pick up the phone now and I call my dad, I'm just like, you know what? I saw He is not taking it for granted. He's taking it serious because I have that long track record of being able to see something as it is and saying it, and then everybody experiencing it just like I said I saw it. And I'm also making an habit to not lie. To not manipulate people. So, with my words and my relationships, so that when I give people messages, they can believe me. Because if I've lived a life of lies, no one will be able to believe anything that comes out of my mouth. Okay, maybe she's just making up for her own advantage. So it is important for us to reinforce that. Because like I said earlier, you could literally save a person's life. You could save your own life. So it is important for us, if you are a virtue, if you are an intermediary between the Orisha, like you're a conduit, anything that you could be, you always have to, your lifestyle has to be that in way people that will take you and believe you more. Now we are all human beings. We all have our shortcomings and stuff. But you also have to, because you've been given a special gift. And that with that we already know that also they say with great power comes great responsibility. Now you also have to adjust your way of life to be in a trusting, in a position whereby people can be able to get their messages that they need without your character as a human being standing in the way of that.
Character is always
it's always important. It all comes down to that. A lot of people will say, "Oh, the moments that the wrong messenger deliver the right message, it's a problem."
You're right.
If you have someone within the Ile that is promiscuous, that is known to be a liar, that you can't trust with money, all of a sudden we have a gathering and they are going into trance. People literally, they're taking your message with a grain of salt.
It's true.
So we always have to make sure that our character are in an upstanding mode, that it does not affect other people from getting their blessing. You don't want to make yourself as a roadblock to your own blessing. Because we are here to bless other people with our knowledge. And with our presence in its own. So again, let's drive back into possession a little bit before the baby decided to. Okay, so that being appointed as the mouthpiece of the Orisha and going into possession, for me, I call it one of the highest calling.
Yes.
I've been able to do that since as early back as a teenager. And I understand the feeling. You're not in control. You're not in charge. You cannot let your human nature interfere into the message that the Orisha are giving you. And another thing that I like to mention is when people say, "Oh, Oshun, tell me this. Ifa, tell me that. Shango, tell me that." How do you identify which spiritual entity is flowing through you or delivering the message, or my ancestor said it? For us back home, if we are having Oshun festival, we are calling Oshun down. Nobody is going into trance saying, "I received a message from Ogun." Because it is not Ogun that we are calling. Not to say Ogun cannot speak at that moment, but that's the moment for Oshun to champion. So we will refer everything to our Oshun, that this is the message that Oshun has for us. But how are we able to get that message? Is because we, as an Elegbe, we have that connection to the spiritual world. It allows us to be able to bring back messages for people. So that thing I think is important for people to know. It doesn't matter what's speaking through you, as long as it's good messages. Whether it is your Egungun, whether it is your Egbe, whether it is Ogun. If we are doing offering and anything with Ogun will say what Ogun wants to say. So when I'm doing my Oshun festival and you're telling me Egungun said this, Egungun said this, I did not ask Egungun to tell me anything. I only ask Oshun. So sometimes I know a lot of people feel a little bit off in that. But we already talk about the important things to also be prepared, making sure that you're in an environment of love where you are protected as an Elegun. Because those who are able to go into trance, and we call them Elegun. With Egun, it's possession, to going into trance. So they are special people. It does not happen for everyone. Unfortunately, it does not. So there's only selected few that are able to ascend that level of being an Elegu.
Okay, so as we wind down to the episode, I hope this has been very informative. I know, people may have a lot of questions. For people that are trying to seek more self-awareness on their spiritual path? You know, like I said, we have new people. We have people that have been living the tradition for 30 years. What are some very practical ways for people to connect with Egbe, especially to build that self-awareness piece?
Everyone out there who is trying to either connect or reconnect with Egbe or Orun, trying to rediscover themselves, or is on the path or the journey to self-discovery. One of the major things that I mentioned earlier is to see Egbe as a mirror.
That's it.
After you're trying to find God, you meet human being. Then you meet yourself. That's the journey in this life. Because in our life, we go through life trying to understand who we are, what is our mission, what is our purpose. Which is why we also identify with Ori as an Egbe and our destiny. Through divination, we are able to know some of our destiny. What is the one that we chose from Orun, and the one that we inherit from both our mother on our father's side. That also helps us, in our journey through self-discovery. Initiation into Ifa has helped a lot of people. Many of us that are privileged, the Nepo baby of Iseshe, like our children, they are able to get their 3-day Esentaye. And we have, as their parents, we have a little bit understanding to their blueprint, the map of their past from Orun and what their future, some of their future is going to entail. So we are able to guide them to know what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. But for a lot of people who don't have that privilege, they go through Ifa initiation. And that it has helped people to be able to have a certain level of understanding of themselves. Now, when it comes to going inward, one thing that I want people to understand is just acceptance. There's nothing wrong with you. And I say this all the time. A lot of crazy, weird people are always deemed weird and strange until times prove their gifts. So patient with yourself. Don't compare yourself to other people. A can do what B cannot do. You're unique. And focus on your own self. Meditate. Pray. We don't advocate that enough. Praying. And most importantly, self-love. Self-love also comes with accepting ourselves. You're going through a lot of stuff. If you don't love yourself, like if you don't love a house, you will not take care of it. If you don't love yourself, you will not take it. Taking care of you and being on your own journey is about having spiritual hygiene, sanitation your life, making sure you don't allow unnecessary people to take residence in your life, making sure that whatever promises that you made, you're keeping them. Because it also translates to our Egbe Orun. We don't know the path that we had made in heaven. And we are here on earth trying to repair in whatever capacity that we can to fulfill all those promises. If you are someone that is open to Isheshe, get a reading. Get divination done. Either you want to do that monthly, you want to do that, every 6 months or every 3 months. You don't have to wait until there is a problem in your life before you start getting divination done. Just like we don't wait until we are sick before we take some supplements, multivitamin to make sure we are not sick. We can also get divination done to make sure that the alignment that we already secure continue to prosper. Also, you just have to bear with me today.
Absolutely.
Also, if someone that has the ability to dream, you have to make sure that you're staying away from a lot of mind-altering drugs. That takes the ability away from you, because if you are knocked out cold, or you are using some things that have the that could make you hallucinate too much, it could really severe that, because you don't know what is true, what is real from what is not real anymore. So the things that we need to do to keep our connection and to, maintain balance with our Egbe, really just come to our wellness as human being.
Yeah.
Because everything that we are doing today all come back to us. If you're not well in the mind, in the spirit, and mentally, you cannot function. You cannot function as a human being.
Yes. Ashe. Thank you so much, Iya, for sharing your knowledge.
Welcome.
Thank you for being with us. This is a subject that, like I said, it's dear to my heart, but it impacts all of us, right?
Yes.
Like you said, everyone has Egbe. Everyone should know more about Egbe. So as we bring our episode to a close, Iya, we usually ask the Iya to bless the people, to pray for those that are watching, those that are listening.
Okay, so acceptance is key in life. And one of my prayer that I pray to Olodumare, to any spiritual entity, whoever is in the hall is in charge of the day, is for me, when I find myself, I pray that we'll be able to accept ourselves, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I also pray for the spirit of enlightenment. Mm-hmm. Journey through this life, we need a certain level of awareness and wisdom. Even so, sometimes people think they are making the right decision. They are doing the best that they can. If you don't have that knowledge, if you're not wise enough, sometimes a good intention can result into bad. It can have bad experience. So I always pray to God for Olodumare to give me that spiritual guidance and knowledge that I need to journey through this life, so that the people that that Olodumare has put in our stead, in ourselves, that we don't miseducate them, that we don't misinform them, and we don't misdirect them and misguide them into them experiencing bad karma due to our own character. Mm-hmm. So we also pray that we continue to enjoy the fullness of blessing. We also pray that our Ori walk in alignment with us, so that we can reach our full potential. And whatever Ori has ordained for us to come to this earth to do, that it comes into fruition. And most importantly, we pray to Olodumare. We pray to Olodumare to make us a good ambassador. And also, it's important for us to always pray for our community as a whole. Because we don't live in isolation. So one of my prayer is for my community and my environment to be receptive, to tolerate and be in a good place for me, so that my destiny can shine. So we pray to each and every one of us. We also pray for our community, for wellness in our community, to allow individual blessing to flow through, to allow all of the destiny that Olodumare has ordained for each person to manifest. Ashe.
Thank you so much, Iya. Thank you for bringing the baby to be a blessing to us as well.
You're welcome.
I want to encourage everyone. There are links on the bottom of the description. It's Egbe Orun, Comrades of Heaven, by Iyalaje Yemisi Elebuibon, and Egbe Orun, Path to Self-Discovery. These are two really great books. You can see they look used and read by me. I put my names in my books because my family members like to steal my books, and I don't let them. So please, click on the link. There will be a link to Iyalaje Market. We didn't mention classes of Egbe at all, but Iya is she's Iyalaje, so she's one of the marketplace. So support her marketplace. The link is below. We thank you for being here, for rocking with us this entire season. Season 2 is just about to close. Next week, we'll have an opportunity for you to ask questions and be with us, and we can just talk about season 2 in its entirety. We're also Real Women Inspired 2 will be going live. So you have an opportunity to buy tickets to Real Women Inspired 2 next week. We'll be on break for about 6 weeks after next week's episode. If you're in the app, then you can come on in right now, and we can have a deeper talk about Egbe together. So we appreciate you being with us. We appreciate you continuing to elevate and grow, and we will see you next week for the season finale of season 2. Adabo.